January 6th committee, they are going to issue a criminal referral to the DOJ. Trump will be included. Trump has a breakdown, and Adam Schiff, who is chairman of the House Intelligence Committee and a former prosecutor, says he believes Trump will be indicted. Here's Adam Schiff.
I think that the evidence is there that Donald Trump committed criminal offenses in connection with his efforts to overturn the election. And viewing it as a former prosecutor, I think there's sufficient evidence to charge the president.
Let me give you the breakdown and the breakdown of Donald Trump. The House Select Committee is expected to recommend criminal charges against former President Donald Trump, which would steer federal investigators into uncharted territory. I'm going to get into that in a minute. The legislative panel investigating the Jan 6 insurrection, the terrorist attack, will likely recommend the Department of Justice charge the ex-president with obstruction of an official proceeding of Congress, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and insurrection, which is an actual constitutional no-no. And it may also recommend similar charges against some Trump advisors and former administration officials. So you may be wondering, well, what does a criminal referral do from the Jan 6 committee? And I've heard other commentators wax poetic about how it means nothing. No, it does mean something. I will explain what it means. Remember a few months ago when the chairman of the Jan 6 committee, a Democrat, he came out and said that they would not be sending any criminal referrals to the DOJ. I disagreed with that move. I even got into a slight disagreement with a congressman right on this show who's a Democrat about that move. I said, if you find crime, you have to at least report it. Congress has a constitutional right of oversight, which includes investigations and subpoena power. The court also says they have the ability to enforce it. So I don't see how you get around being an investigative authority, finding felony crimes and not reporting those crimes to the proper authority. Initially, the chairman, a Democrat once again, said, no, we're not going to do that. It was Cheney, a Republican, who went on Twitter and said, wait a minute, Mr. Chairman, we have not made that decision as a committee. Why would a Democrat not want the DOJ to receive the criminal referral? It seems as if it would be the other way around, that the Republican would say, put the brakes on this, it seems too political. And the Democrat would say, hey, we need to go ahead and do it if we figure out there's crime committed. The reason why those things were opposite is because the chairman did not know if the DOJ was going to actually indict Donald Trump. Not at that time. Because if you then send a criminal referral to the DOJ, you as the Democratic chairman of the committee, you have a Democratic president, Democratic vice president, and your DOJ director and everybody else, your attorney general, your FBI guy, everybody else, they work for the current Democratic president. You put political pressure upon them to do something that you don't know if they're going to do yet. You don't know. I think the reason why you actually have a criminal referral happening likely this week is because at least the chairman of the committee is aware this is not going to put additional burden or political burden upon the DOJ, which means the DOJ is going to indict no matter what. Now that's my conclusion based on reading the tea leaves. There's more. A referral really just means that one part of the government is sending to the executive government information and requesting that the Department of Justice investigate these matters, says Stephen A. Salzberg, a law professor, George Washington University. The Justice Department, which is already investigating the matter on its own, will then decide whether or not to act on that request. Although Attorney General Merrick Garland would likely view the legislative referral, which could result in the first criminal charges against a former president, more seriously. One of the purposes of a referral is that if you think there is a crime, it puts some accountability on the prosecutor's decision on whether to charge or not, Richmond said. is an accountability shifting device. And I agree. So how did Donald Trump respond to the reality that he is going to be referred for criminal indictment? Now remember, the United States Congress has determined Trump is already a criminal. When you are impeached, and he was impeached twice, that is an indictment. Yes, it means indictment. Basically, it's a body that has charged you officially. If he was not the president, he would have been charged by a grand jury. But because he is the president or was the president at that time, he can only be, there you go. All right, so now Donald Trump, he responds. What does he say? Well, he has a breakdown. He says, and I quote, "The unselect committee of political hacks are the same group that came up with the Russia hoax." That's called deflection, ladies and gentlemen. Not to mention many others. They are corrupt cowards who hate our country. He's building a narrative to create chaos. Same thing he did on January 6th. There's more. Minutes later, he added this: "Republicans and patriots all over the land must stand strong and united against the thugs and scoundrels of the unselect committee. It will be a dark period in American history, but with darkness comes light." Now that sounds like a threat. All right, so he's doing the same exact thing he did before. And he's hoping to rally weak-minded, bigoted, racist individuals to his cause. That's the reason he gave them protection. That's the reason he said, good people on both sides. That's the reason he told the Proud Boys to stand by. Listen, this man, and that's all he is. I don't give a damn that he's the former president of the United States or how much money he has. This mere man must be indicted, period. Now, democracy is on the edge of being something completely unrecognizable. We have a decision to make as a country. Either people are above the law or they are not. That's it. It's not that complicated. And some of you will say, well, this creates a slippery slope to charge a former United States president. Damn it, we are already on the slippery slope. All right, my dear brother, thoughts here.
Dr. Richey, you said it beautifully. The only thing I disagree with is that you said Donald Trump is a man. He is not. He is a boy. Right. He is a child. He is a bratty, spoiled, and on top of that, evil child. He's a problem child. And it is fantastic that the select committee will be recommending criminal indictments against him. If for no other reason, I hope that your read of the tea leaves are right, but if for no other reason, that in case they are not, and that they do what so often our Justice Department does these days and is not hold those in power to account, this at least will go down in history as 3 criminal referrals for indictments for crimes against the United States caused and committed by a former president. It's never been done before, and that will stain his legacy yet again. This man is a monster. He's not a man. He is a disgusting excuse for a human being. And it is time that the chickens come home to roost, and this guy gets what is coming to him, this complete fraudster. And it's also about time that maybe this cavalcade of consequences finally heading towards this despicable person starts chipping away, as it seems it is, at his support. And will chip away at the Republican Party that still supports him far, far too much. Because not only is he responsible for Jan 6, if he truly wanted and truly thought it was a patriotic act and truly thought that people were supporting him in a way that helped the country, he would have pardoned them then when he was in power and could have, but he didn't, because he'd rather throw everybody under the bus, whoever supports him. He now only claims he'll pardon them if he gets reelected, which also is a lie. He is a criminal, and it's about time that criminals get punished criminally.
Well said, dear brother.